what your choices have been, and what karmic timelines and contracts you have journeyed. The light is calling for the reunification of all aspects of life in this realm now. It is calling for the cleansing of all polarities. It is calling for the rising of all sacred heart centers now. All are being summoned home to the greater light now.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Whole Soul Mastery's Sounds of Circles Unity Heart Sharing in the Round. I'm Marie Moeller, and I'm an author, channel, and a host of the Whole Soul Mastery podcast. And I'm here today with Renee Tainter, Sharon Rainsbottom, Vanita Lakwala, Suzette Foster, Mary Lozano, and Flower Diamond. And it's just such a joy and a blessing to be in these stream of frequencies, these energies in January 2021. And a lot of us are feeling these energies of change. And 2021 in numerology adds to a 5, which is all about change. And so we're going to be seeing more change in this new year, and we're already experiencing it in the month of January. And I want to invite each of you to really think about this energy. These themes came through me last night before when I was thinking about this call and this roundtable today. The energies of precipice, the precipice. We're on a precipice of great change. And also at the same time I felt precipice, I felt the energy of perception, because it is through the lenses that we see that is creating the outpicturing or the experiences in our lives. And so there's lots of ways we can be perceiving this precipice at this unique time on our planet and on our world. And so I thought we'd go around and, each of you can share, just what when you tune into those words, when you tune into those frequencies, precipice and perception, and what you would have to share about how are you feeling about the energies of change right now, and some words you might have to share with people who are experiencing their own precipice. There's been some of us who've been able to pull the curtain, pull the covers up, like, I don't want to know that things are changing on the planet. And I think now as a collective the time is here to move into a new vibration, a new frequency of transparency and clarity. And we're going to have to take that leap. So in my vision of that precipice, we're taking this leap into a higher dimensional consciousness. And I have been talking the last year, a lot of my transmissions through Frequency Writer and the platforms that I share these messages on, that 2020 was all about clear soul sight. And I think we're seeing more and more now that we need to partner with that clear soul vision and our heart's vision so that we can access this higher timeline and this new earth energy that we're all moving into. And the more those things, in my view, are working together, the easier it is to see the celestial stones in the fog, this world that's opening up to us that's so beautiful as an old world falls away. So I just want to seed those energies of precipice and perception with all of you. And who would like to share what they think about those things and how they're experiencing that, or what they could share with our listeners about how we're navigating these times with those energies in mind. Anyone? Vanita.
My personal experience has been that as I have worked through clarification of my character, my personality, it's the refinement processes that we go through as we self-investigate. I'm finding that the accumulations that held me in bondage, they fell away because I was not holding them in my mind. And as I continue to focus on the positives and the forward movement rather than looking back, I'm finding more and more expansiveness in my personal experience, where there's more love flowing from every dimension towards me and from me to the outer. So, knowing that, I understand that I have been holding certain conditioning that was creating certain scenarios.
Mm.
And as I let that fall away and trusted in universal flow, trusted in that which actually makes us alive, I'm finding that support is arriving from every quarter.
Mm.
So, and also I find there is no loss, it's just a replacement. As we allow things to leave, that which arrives is more suitable for who we have become now.
Mm.
So, our own state of being has shifted so much that the out picturing is reflecting it. That is why, personally, I have no chaos in my life because of this. And if something does show up, then I know that there's some clarification within me that's required. So that's a perception change. There is no blame, no guilt, nothing. It's just a neutrality about it. And from that neutrality, solutions come, support arrives, personal experience. And I see myself as a new being now. So, yes, it's time to take a new name. Since all the old patternings have dissolved. Uh, and as we become this, we lead by example. We allow others to be the same way and assist them when things stop working in their lives. We say, move forward, have a positive attitude, have patience, have tolerance, cultivate these qualities. The good is arriving, it's arriving. Meanwhile, the breakdown is that of which is ready to exit. So, trusting in this process of the arrival allows us to keep moving forward. We are the lighthouses, each one is for that matter. Even the ones we believe not to be, they are lighthouses too for us because they are a mirror. So each one is a divine spark. Everyone is fulfilling their role. And we, in this podcast, we just sit here and bless everybody and everything. And from that comes that peace, golden age of Aquarius that arrives again and again and again.
That's so beautiful. And I just really felt you. There were so many beautiful things you shared there, Vanita. And I really was feeling when you first started talking about was the energy of loss. There's no loss. It's this continuous flow, right? And I felt that conscious breathing, the energy of conscious breathing with the inhale and the exhale and breathing in the new creation and just effortlessly exhaling what we're releasing, right? And when we see it as that breath, that life flow, then there isn't that loss, right? Or feeling as if we're losing something because we are gaining so much, right? And energy is always moving. And the conscious breathing is always moving that divine life force through us that is always creating our world and our experience. And there's a lightness of being in that, right? When life is a breath, creation is that ebb and flow, that inhale and exhale. And in the old world that is, falling away, there's this sense of needing to accumulate, right? Because we were denser beings. And so we needed to hold on to things. And then we grew this perception that things could be lost. But isn't there that expression that like nothing is lost in the eyes of God, right? Nothing is lost. There's just this flow of energy and life. And that's the divine feminine also, right? That brings in the feminine is our fluidity, our flow, our connection to everything and everyone in a single moment, right? In that now moment. When people listening to us, each one of us has cultivated a spiritual practice so that we could access more of that flow, more of that divine feminine energy to bring us in the power of the present moment and to feel that grace inside us, and it's a lightness of being. And that's also the exciting newness that this precipice is launching us into, is this beautiful grace inside us where we are accessing our enlightenment, right? And these quantum frequencies where we can connect with anyone and anything energetically. And that's this new quantum world that's opening up to us again. That is so exciting. So I continue to feel that we are on the precipice of a really exciting change and really exciting and positive possibilities, right? We're entering the realm of infinite possibility again in a lived experience where many more of us are going to experience this together, right? As individuals and as a collective. So thank you. Thank you, Vanita. Yeah, Renee.
Wow, I resonate with what both of you have said. And Vanita, wow. Yeah, I feel like this energy of the precipice has been around for a while. And because in my own life, I could see things melting away as I have had the time to, like Vanita said, self-examine. And really, I think the energy of the light, even if you're not like looking to do self-examination, I honestly think because the light is calling us all back to itself, you're going to go through that whether you want to or not. And I know a lot of people that are going through stuff. They're just going like, all of a sudden I realize that this person in my life is like, my friend's a tax lady, and she just said, whoa, no, it's not working, and it's not. And so for me, it's like my sovereignty is rising, and when that happens, all the other stuff melts away. And that's what I was feeling when you were talking, Vanita, that the self-examination and the revelations that lead to your sovereignty, which is just you not worrying about external things like opinions and worldly things. Like Vanita, when you said, let's don't look back. Yeah, all you have is the now moment, and let's live in the now. And my words, because sometimes it's the unknown, that I keep going back to neutrality, like you both said. Neutrality means that you're not like this. You're not being pulled. You're just going, oh, that. Oh, that. You're a conscious creator, so you're just going, oh, okay, so what am I going to do with this? And you allow yourself that luxury of deciding what you want to create or co-create, or if you want to at all. But for me, a lot of it has just been personal inner journey of like just rising up out of the fog of 3D and not really honoring myself in ways that I thought I was, and so trust, allowance, acceptance. I don't always understand everything, but I can certainly accept it. It doesn't mean I condone it or whatever, but I can see that we're all in this together, and we're in a sea of humanity, and that's not going to go away. And so the life skills we have to build to navigate ourselves through it. And we all want to do it in a loving, conscious way where we are honoring the other person and not judging them. Self-compassion is a thing that's grown in me a lot in the last year, because I was judging myself for a lot of things. And so, yes, I think being on that precipice, I'm starting to get comfortable. I might have already stepped into the fog. I think so, because I thought, you know what? No. No, I don't want what's back there. And in your message, in your last message, Marie, it said, you can't, there's fog, you can see a couple steps and you don't even know what's there, and there's a precipice, and the whole thing is behind you. And even though you don't know, you can feel that it feels better to step into that, which I think is stepping into yourself, stepping into your Godhead, your God self, your sovereignty, the truth of who you are. And yeah, bring it on, because the other stuff hasn't been working so good.
That was so beautiful. Yeah, we have to trust and know and feel those feelings of what we're moving into feels better. Listening to that sentient guidance. That's our sentient system that's trying to activate, right?
Yeah.
And listening to that. Yeah. Sharon, did you want to share?
Everything that has been shared has been so wonderful, and I'm taking it in. For me, the words grace and heart is really where I'm at, and the precipice is grace, where I surrender and trust and allow. And I know that I am calling to me what is for my highest good, and that benefits all. And I am trusting the divine and source. And so there's a certain amount of stepping out, exactly like your message had said, Marie, that you're stepping out in the unknown. We are in the unknown. And but we are sovereign beings, and we are of God, and we are here to experience, and all is an opportunity. And so for me, with perception, I am leading with my heart consciousness. And in that lens, all is unconditionally accepted and held and embraced as one. And so I understand that each person in front of me, regardless of whether I am in resonance or dissonance, is a gift. It's a gift, and it expands us. And so I stay in gratitude and appreciation and love. And so so with me, it's really grace is the precipice and heart is the perception. And that's about, and then everything else flows from there.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah. Grace is the precipice and heart is the perception. And when you were talking, Sharon, I don't know why this came to me, but I was feeling like Wayne Dyer, I think, talks about this too. But, each night when we go to sleep, we die to ourselves, right? And there's this to who we were that day. And every morning we wake to a new creation. We wake to this newness inside us. And I think that's where the heart is, at the precipice. And the grace is the surrender every night to sleep. And the heart is that openness to new creation. Again, it's the in breath and the out breath, right? And the death and life and this creation cycle that we're all an integral part of. It's so powerful. And as we talk about that grace and heart in the new transmission that I'll be posting this weekend, the guides were talking about if someone's feeling fear, because not everybody at the precipice is feeling joy and excitement and bliss and euphoria and having the trust inside themselves to let go, right? And the guides were saying, when you feel fear, if you feel fear, you can fall into faith, right? The falling can be into faith. The falling can be into grace. The falling can be into just allowing yourself to not know what you don't know, but to trust that something even more beautiful than what you're experiencing now is finding you. And they talked a little bit more about that, but that was really beautiful, because there's some people right now at the edge of the precipice. If they're feeling that, they're like the brakes are on, right? And there's a ravine below, because that's what a precipice is, right? It's like at the edge of a cliff, at the edge of a mountain, there's this steep drop. And the ego's fear is, it's certain death. Like, there's something terrible happening. But if we remember every night in that context of that energy, I think Wayne Dyer is the one who talks about this, but we die to ourselves every night, and we wake refreshed and renewed every day. That's the precipice. We're surrendering what we've been, and we're opening to the newness of what we're becoming and what we're truly meant to be. So all these perspectives, right? Each one of us that's sharing, it's so beautiful. And I want to ask Flower, do you want to share? Because I know you might need to leave at some point this morning, but your grace and your presence here is such a gift. It's such a gift.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you guys. I'm just so grateful to be with all of you. And thank you for inviting me to these meetings. And you're all such a blessing. And I'm just feeling so lucky that I'm spending these moments with such oh wow, these concepts and ideas, and just the sharing is a gift of the day. You know, when do you get this? This is, you can't flip on the TV and get this. It's like a gift, right? So I mean, the mode I've been in for the past like year and now 2021 is the laughing Buddha is always within, so deep inside, just cracking up at every moment. Um,
I love it.
at times it's hard to take it all seriously. So I constantly see the laughing Buddha at every step. Um, and it's funny, Marie, because you're talking about the theme as a precipice, and I'm a poet, and I just wrote a poem about the precipice yesterday in a project that I'm working on. It's a street poetry grid of San Francisco. So what I'm doing is I'm going to every cross section. I'm starting with my own zip code, and I'm going there on a map, not physically, and I sit with it and I talk to that intersection, and I write a poem that comes. We have a two-way conversation, and I whatever on the surface comes up with that coordinate, I write. We write together, and the precipice is also like a crossroads. So I'm writing about the crossroads and all the choices we make throughout our entire life. Every second we're making a choice. What's for dinner?
Right.
That's a precipice. So it's this constantly we're on the edge, right? So it's very interesting when you're driving now. Every time you go through a crossroads, you're making a choice. And that X right there is also it's like a hug. It's an embrace as well. I always think of the X's as an embrace. And so anyway, I'll share my poem with you guys. This is street 24th and Lawton, San Francisco, California, 94122. This is the conversation I had, and this is the book. There's in my district, there's about 550 cross streets. Wow. So that's I go to a cross street. I have to move quickly. I can't stay in one spot. I have a crossroad. I can't, even a lesson I learned. It's cool. Thank you very much. Next street, because I have to get through this. I don't stay anywhere long. I think that's what Vanita was talking about. Let go of the past. You know, even if it's good, we need to keep it moving. Keep it moving. So we don't want to spend too many hours in the library, right? We need to go outside. Have some fun. So I'll share my poem. Thank you very much. Okay, so 24th and Lawton. Okay. Be here with me. Wander no more along the edge of the precipice. For I can direct you to the innermost intersection that belongs to no city, no heart, just the infinite knowing that erases the precipice altogether.
I love it. Wow.
Wow. The infinite knowing
Beautiful.
that erases the precipice altogether, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's gorgeous.
You can't make that up. You can only listen. I could not make that up. That's a two-way conversation with life. And yeah. Thank you very much for allowing me to have this space to share.
So beautiful.
That's a good thing to keep around. I'd love to have a copy of that.
Sure, I will share that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. And you can see just our listeners and we're experiencing it on this call. It's amazing. Each one of us has a lens of perception, right? We're all experiencing these precipice moments or that infinite knowing. And others listening might even be experiencing some fear or some challenge at the precipice. But we all have the invitation is there to expand our perception and maybe like the laughing Buddha, right? And not take it so seriously and to let the energy move and just take a breath and let the energy move through you. If there's fear, you know, Vanita can probably speak to this really well, but when there's fear, I'd imagine we constrict our breathing, right?
Or hyperventilate, which is the opposite, you know.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
deplete.
So that's sort of I guess a physiological response to the emotional experience of fear or that trigger we're going through. But if we can just keep breathing, and if we can feel the laughing Buddha inside us, and if we can feel God, the presence of source energy is breathing us, right? And there's a living life force inside us. I love there's a woman named Marie Forleo. I don't know if you know about her, but she has a B school. It's a heart-centered business school for heart-centered entrepreneurs. And one of the things that she often talks about is that everything's figure-outable. And if you take that to I love that word. She makes it a word, figure-outable, right? Everything is figure-outable. And so when we're at that precipice, right, we can summon in that inner knowing, right? I can't remember exactly how you said it, Flower. Can you read that one line again? The inner knowing that.
The whole thing again.
Yeah. Right?
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. The poem loves this. Poems love attention. In fact, everything loves attention. Everything wants a poem. So. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Be here with me, wander no more, along the edge of the precipice, for I can direct you to the innermost intersection that belongs to no city, no heart, just the infinite knowing that erases the precipice altogether.
The infinite knowing that erases the precipice altogether. It's
That's
so
about
beautiful.
being in your sovereignty, where you're not you're not anchored to anything except yourself.
Right?
You become nothing.
And
the
right?
nothingness.
The nothingness and the
love.
allness, all in one breath, all in one moment. And I just felt with precipice, I know there's a core root syllable in there of presence. You know, it's our presence, right? I think when we enter and embody our presence, our infinite soul presence, right, it does erase the precipice altogether. And I think each and all of us are finding our way, whether it's faith, whether it's fear, grace, heart, whatever this is, we're all finding our way to surrendering and letting go and moving into that place of presence inside us. And that's the gift, right? The gift is to be in the present moment as a creator. And that's what you do, Flower, right? When you receive your poems in the grid, you have to get out of the way. You enter the muse, right?
And that's why I wear this flower behind my ear, because I'm just listening. There's nothing, I disappear. I just listen to it's word by word. I don't know what I wrote before. I know the word I'm hearing now, and I don't know what's going to go the next. And then I forget what I just wrote.
Right?
So I'm completely with the pen, and I just wait for the next word. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this sounds so stupid. This doesn't make sense. I mean, a lot of nonsense goes on. And I just
Anchoring
breathing moves it. Breathing moves the pen.
Yeah.
Breathe, wait for the next word, and then I'm done. And then I don't even want to look. And I step back. And actually, the next poem, this is the page of the two poems. And I don't look back. I don't edit. Very rarely do I edit, unless it's my handwriting, which is really what. But the next poem is very beautiful. I'd like to share that one too.
Please.
Because I think that's what you were just talking about, Marie, about how we're moving. And so this was 24th in Moraga. A simple man stands here, stops for a moment, looks 2 ways, then steps centered onto the path that holds his hand.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. So we want to just hold our hands with that which knows how to guide us in the right direction.
Flower, I think that you are anchoring
I want to cry.
All of those intersections, you are connecting everything. You're connecting the grid of your city.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You're using the force, honey.
You're using the force.
Power force.
Well, I'm just paying attention to something that wants to, a poem is everything at once. And this is really, I spend lately about 2 hours a day writing. So it's a form of meditation, and that is what's keeping me very connected and just one word at a time. And that's the only place I am where I am free is when I write, honestly.
Wow.
Like when I'm talking now, I'm, I got judgments, I got, my ego comes out, all this stuff but when I'm writing, I'm free. So that's why I try to make it a priority to keep it writing. So that's why I have these projects that seem formidable. Like I wrote 2,000 poems about water. It's just to keep me there, keep me free. And to do a poetry group. I'm constantly looking for something to guide me. Alphabets with Marie. I do for the poems of the month with her. It's like, oh, I'll do an alphabet of a concept. And then every letter, you can pick a word that goes with a concept. Like, what are we talking about? Precipice.
Yes.
It just do, A, I don't know, at the top, and then B, where you just come up with start there and then listen to the poem come out from that. And you never know what you're going to get. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but I'm just playing.
Right. Creation paints itself onto the page of your notebook. And when I started channeling too, I miss having the pen in my hand because that's when I'm the best, when I'm most open and I'm the most free. I just wanted to add to that where you don't look at it in your notebook. Rarely do you look back because it comes through, right? And we keep flowing and moving forward. I remember when I started channeling the same thing when I started with a letter. I first got a letter and then I got a word and then I got sentences and paragraphs and now I have scrolls, right? That's how the channeling has flowed through. But the woman I worked with who was my teacher, I remember, and the guides would say, receive, just receive, and then put the notebook away for a day because your ego wants to get in there and judge it. It's already trying to say, let me help you with receiving that message, right? And when we just step out of our ego and we just let it flow through, it's amazing the magic that happens. And when I would in the beginning wait a day, and then I'd look at my notebook a day and I'd be like, who wrote that? Like, where did that come from? It's so amazing. It's so wise and wonderful. And that's what you do so brilliantly well. And when you're in the presence, right, that inner knowing erases the precipice. Like you're just in a place of grace, Flower, when you stream that for those few hours, those couple of hours a day, that you give yourself that. And it's a spiritual practice. I would say that's something that you give yourself that freedom every day to have that experience. It's amazing.
I think it's about talking. Yeah, sorry, Renee.
We are so blessed to have you in.
Well, it is a two-way conversation. It's me talking to myself and not at. That's the difference. We talk at ourselves, at life. So it's a two-way conversation.
And Flower, your latest poem is such a perfect example of surrendering and faith and flow in trust and just having the courage to just step off that curb and just trust and know that you're being supported and that you're being guided and that everything is in its right and perfect and divine place. So it's beautiful.
There's always a hand there that's waiting for you. Always a hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're safe.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you so much. I have to leave now. I'm so sorry. I'm such a diva. I'm gonna drop the mic, everybody. I love you all. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
Flower.
Take care. We'll see you soon.
Aloha. Thank you.
So beautiful
He's
to end,
adorable.
right? These worlds of knowing and these worlds of playfulness and these worlds of creation, like, and we get to portal into that in these roundtables. I think that's also what we get to do, is we get to portal into how do others experience that source energy? And it's so fun to see that. We could have, I don't know if any of us are singers on this. I'm a singer, but that's a whole other story. But some people fully identify as a singer, right? And it's so beautiful to listen to people, or like David Fryer or Del Sol Etienne, who's often in our roundtables and podcasts, when they tap into music or light language, when we bliss out in this place of presence and this knowingness, all the fear of the precipice disappears, it erases. And it's so beautiful to see that in Flower. That's how she accesses that magical realm. And we're embodying that more and more. It's not a concept, it's not out there, it's in here, right? It's in here. And the more people understand that, I think, I just want to say this one more thing, and then I want to hear from you, Suzette, is that it can be scary when it is perceived out there, because out there we feel like we don't have any power, which increases the fear. But when we go in here with faith and we go into our heart centers and all that inner knowingness, that's where our empowerment is. And that's where that faith is. That's where the neutrality, I think, Renee, you were bringing up neutrality. We've talked about that in some podcasts. But in that neutrality is grace. That's where we flow free, right? And we each arrive there in our own ways. And I would invite our listeners to continue to listen to us, and also to just listen inside yourself like Flower, and put a flower behind your ear if you need to, just like Flower, and listen for what is that place of grace for you, right? Where is that place where you feel safe to tune in and listen here, right? Yeah. Suzette, please share.
Yeah, I loved her poem and talking about infinite knowing. For our listeners who aren't feeling that they're hearing their inner guidance or inner knowing, another word is trust. And trust that you're being guided, and holding that light and being as much love and peace within as possible. We are being guided. And in this ascension process, anything that's not of the light is being revealed, whether it's personal or collective. And as we honor that, as we trust that, we can not go into fear over it. We can accept it and allow it to move through. And so I feel that we grow in trust, obviously. So please, I hope our stories can help strengthen our listeners' ability to trust in the unknown. We are at a great phase of change right now, and astrology and guidance is saying we have to be okay in the not knowing what's around the corner. I mean, our ego wants to know, our ego wants to feel safe. We are safe. It doesn't mean life is perfect in this moment. It doesn't mean you like what you're going through. It means it's all okay. In that place of non-resistance, the light flows through us. The guidance flows through us. We are guided to meet the right person or go to the right place to hear what we needed to hear. So it is a journey, and we've all have gone through our own challenges and life experiences, and we've come out the other side because we've trusted. So I just want to invite you and honor everybody who's going through challenges or afraid of the unknown. Honor those feelings. Just don't stay there. As Vanita would say, breathe through them. Breath is everything to moving energy. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Renee.
So yeah, I so resonate with that. Thank you, Suzette. So what came to my mind when you were speaking is that some of my moments have been that I have some kind of expectation about how it's supposed to look by now, or what I should, or where I should be at by now. Because, I've been on this journey for a really long time, and I'm just going, really? I'm looking at that again? So it's easy for me to not trust myself. And then I have to back away from that and say, it's not me I'm trusting. It's my spirit, source, God, goddess, all of that. And then to get back to that, knowing that if I just, how deep is your trust has been one of my mantras for a long time. And sometimes my trust isn't that deep because it's uncomfortable. I don't want it to be uncomfortable. It's painful. It's confusing. And a lot of times I don't know what to do or think or say or how to act. And I'm in this space of, talk about unknown and talk about almost frozen, where you're like, there's no place to go except in, because the whole thing about being uncomfortable is when you're projecting out there. When you're projecting, it's another person, it's a situation, it's what have I done, what am I going to do, and all of that is distracting you from going inside and knowing and partnering, like you've always said, Marie. And also I love what Flowers said. There's always, I wrote it down, there's always a hand waiting for you. So all you have to do is take that hand, which is yourself. And we've had so many years of living externally that it is a little scary when you get in there and you go, are you there? Hello. and trusting and having faith and letting go and being neutral and trusting the grace. And so I appreciate you, Suzette, for saying that there's probably a lot of people that are really confused, especially what's going on. I mean, it's been over a year that I learned that the light is so powerful. The light is calling everybody back to oneness, back to itself, which is God and source and love and grace and all those things we've been talking about. And so you can't escape it. You're on the train and there's no stops until you get there. I mean, and that's where we want to be. We may not know it. And someplace, and you might help me remember, Marie, someplace I heard people want to go back to what they know, but actually that's the unknown behind you, because we were all using the external things to try to manipulate our reality and people and things. It's really the known that's in front of us. Right. It's really the known, but we haven't been connected to that for so long and we're beginning to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, and where you said that unknown and the known, it's the illusion versus, we can use the words divine truth or the timeless truth or the eternal now. Yeah. That is real. It's God's divine design, but we're leaving the illusion. So what's behind us is in large part an illusion of this old world age and cycle. And what we're letting go to is the awareness that just might be an illusion. And truth withstands scrutiny very well, which was not my words. Sonia Choquette, who's a teacher and a speaker, I think her mother said that to her when she was little. And as soon as I read that one sentence, truth withstands scrutiny very well. The truth of our divine essence is that lighthouse. It can be battered in hundreds and hundreds of storms, but its light will keep shining eternally because the truth withstands that scrutiny of the storms. And we've all weathered storms in our lives. We may continue to have some storms to go through, but when you can connect and you start to let go and surrender with faith and trust more and more, and you start to trust that divine essence and that helping hand inside, right? And the guidance that comes from inside, everything is figure-outable. Everything is navigatable. I guess we can make all kinds of words out of that, right? And the point is we have everything we need inside us, which is what every spiritual guide, everything in a sacred text, messages from God, we've been shown this over and over, but the illusion and our ego that engages the illusion would tell us differently. that this is bigger than you, that you can't handle this, that you failed, that this is too hard. All of those things sound very much like limits and lack. And when we hear those messages playing, we can just witness that and say, is that the real me? Or is there that helping hand inside for me? Because I could really use a helping hand here, and a helping heart, because it's our heart that is able to travel interdimensionally and access whatever it is that we need. It's this multidimensional portal. And when we're on that precipice, we're on the precipice of our multidimensionality, really. That's really what it is. And our ego is saying, put the brakes on. We don't know anything about those other realms, right? They could be scary. They could be worse than what we're in. So let's put the brakes on and let's stay right where we are. It might be terrible, but at least we know what it is. That's when the illusion and the ego gets us into traps. And so, yes, we are on the precipice of our multidimensional aspects and our awareness. And that's like quantum creation right there. But I understand the ego inside me, that version of me, this life that has plenty of memories from just this lifetime alone of when things were scary. And it's reminding me, I mean, it's just like tapping me on the shoulder and saying, remember this, and let's for sure remember this. And what Flower's poem, I love that line that the inner knowing erases even that precipice, because as you trust with faith, how deep is your trust? And we listen, eventually the tapping gets less and less. And eventually we have to look less and less to the ego's perspective, because the more we look, the more we keep it as a living reality in our lives. So we're keeping the illusion alive when we keep listening to the ego's tappings, right? But it takes practice to hear that perception of the ego, to see ourselves on the precipice, and to know those stones in the fog or into that celestial mist, into this new living, amazing reality of consciousness inside us. It's activating. We're going through the 0 point into our multidimensional gifts, and we can access anything from any timeline, anywhere, from source. So that's a little soliloquy from me right now, but it's very powerful, this precipice. And I think when people can embrace it with faith and trust, and know that there's a higher version of me helping to guide me in this process, and I have all the support that I need, I just have to summon it in. It's in here that it's coming. It doesn't have to be so scary. It can actually be a really beautiful experience. And I want to make sure I get to Mary in a second. I just wanted to say to Suzette, I don't know if you want to share, if you'd be willing to share it all, but how deep is your trust? That's what Renee's words were. She was given that in guidance years ago. And you had a deep story of trusting, right? And you had to go into that having deep faith. And it was breath that literally you had a challenge, and a medical challenge, right? Where you even stopped breathing.
Yes, thank you. Our spiritual journey obviously is here to bring us peace and help us remember who we really are beyond this illusion. And the more, for me, the more I've learned that, the more, the more it works, the more peace I have, and trust. And in 2005, I literally had an injury that pulled it all together for me. It's like, how much do you really trust? And I had the same injury as Christopher Reeve. I was mountain biking, flew over my handlebars, instantly was paralyzed, stopped breathing. We're in the woods, so it took EMS 17 minutes to reach me. If I didn't have the faith that my mind is so powerful, if I didn't have the faith and trust that I am one with God, Creator, I would have been dead at the scene. So when I also wasn't afraid of dying, because that faith that there's no death, that it's just a transition. In that place of non-resistance, of not being afraid, and I have put the Christ light around me and protective light around me and my biking friends. I had learned to trust everything, especially because I had protected myself, that this was okay. I mean, And I feel that in that place of non-resistance, grace entered. Grace supported me because I wasn't saying, why me? I did all this protection. It just flowed. And in my mind, I said, I refuse to accept this limitation. God is my source. Instantly, a lightning bolt of energy went through me. So I said that again. Instantly, another lightning bolt went through me that my arm flopped. A moment later, I got my breath back. My doctor at Duke Medical Center said there's no medical explanation or understanding how I could have gotten my breath back. After he did surgery, he expected me to remain a quadriplegic because I had severe spinal cord injury. Again, my story is to say not to give anything out here power. It has no power unless we give it power. And I was on my spiritual journey enough to know that. And I refused to give it power. And again, grace was with me. In hindsight, I never ever questioned, what if I'm a quadriplegic? What's going to happen next? Never even entered my mind. I stayed so focused on what I wanted, which was dancing. And grace was there. It's like, you know, spirit is with us when we do our part. And so 18 hours after surgery, I walked down a long, long corridor. And I visualized me doing it and came back. My whole body felt like cement. I was just totally, you know, quadriplegic. But I did it. And from that moment on, they told me I'd be in ICU for 7 to 10 days. I said, I'll be out in 2 days. I was out in 2 days. They told me I'd be in the hospital a minimum of 3 weeks. I said, I'll be out in a week. And I was out in a week. I'm getting emotional almost because the story is so powerful. It's not about me. It's about who we really are beyond our physical bodies. And we're just, even in this illusion, we're pure energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our bodies are energy. Our experiences and our money and our challenges are, everything's energy, and it's moldable energy. So honor the journey, honor the crap you have to go through. It's temporary. And I kept telling everyone that came in, this is temporary. See me dancing. You know, this is temporary. And when we are in a place, as I keep saying, of non-resistance, the light can enter, the changes that you need, the miracles that you need can come through. So, and within 4 months, I was driving, and, you know, I'm fully functioning. I'm not 100% healed, but I'm absolutely fully functioning. And my story is in a really wonderful movie. I'm one of several stories, but it's a beautiful movie called I Hope You Dance. And it's on Amazon. You can rent it. And it's just, we're amazing. And I feel that my story is here to remind people that we are amazing and we're not our problems. We're the light. Let the light shine bigger than your problems. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. And
So beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Sue.
beautiful.
Wow.
So inspirational, and thank you.
thank you.
I'm going to invite Mary to speak because I think I need to recover for a minute. It's so powerful. I can feel so much of all the energy they described in that level of grace. Grace is magic. Grace is God's magic wand. And when grace flows through us, like truly anything is possible. And all we have to do is accept the helping hand, right? That's what we have to do. And to really allow it and embody that energy. And your story is extraordinary. And I look forward to seeing that movie as well. I'll be looking that up, and I'll put a link to that in the description section of the video so other people can find it too. Thank you. Mary, do you want to
Thank you.
share?
I resonate with everything that's been said today. Thank you, Suzette, for your story. That's just beautiful and incredible. I would just say that what what reflects in our outer world is a reflection of what we hold inside. So if there's something that we're seeing in our outer world that we don't like, or that doesn't resonate with us anymore, let's just release it. Let's just clear it. Let's just breathe through it and honor it and allow ourselves to heal, because we are creating a new reality for ourselves. It's time to let go of the past and move forward from a place of grace and love and unity. And it's time to manifest all of our biggest dreams, intentions. Let's just dream big and trust in the manifestation process, because it's all here for us. We've done all of the heavy lifting and we've done all of the hard work, and it's time to enjoy and be in the now and just be in the just in the joyfulness and happiness that we are and who we are. And
That's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know another podcast we can talk more about this, Sharon, but the coherence, like heart coherence, it's like, again, I feel like we're in this one breath together, that something happens when people who have a willingness for that open-heartedness, right? That place of neutrality and grace we're talking about, that we just start breathing as one. We're creating as one. We're sharing as one breath, as one being, as one source, and as one light. And I feel that. Thank you, Mary, and all of you today. It's such a blessing to be in the presence of each one of you and in the one presence that we really are. And Vanita, I wanted to invite you. I think you have a chant to share with us and our listeners as we close out our conversation today.
Keeping with the understanding that we are all energy and we are actually always being unified, that whatever we put out towards one affects everything else in creation. That which we put towards ourselves affects everything in creation. So knowing that we have an impact by what we say, how we think, and how we act on the quantum field is a responsibility that we are aware of. And knowing that and understanding that there is much turbulence on the planet because of the changeover, understanding that this is a changeover from an experience, a collective experience of contraction, limitation, and restriction, and no one did it to us. We had decided to have an experience, and now we have moved out of that experience. For those of us have said we are out of jail free, like in Monopoly. That now we understand that we are rewriting the script. And this is not only for our personal sphere of experience, but because the collective is part of our experience. What is out there becomes our experience. We get farm foods from Australia, New Zealand, or China. We are all connected. And understanding everything connects with everything else. So this prayer it's a pledge, really. And it is about blessing all beings. And this is not just humans, all beings everywhere. And wishing that all beings be happy and free. And we do this by our own, using our own peace center, that we become this peaceful center, that we clear our inner noise, that we drop within by withdrawing our attention awareness from our senses and close the doors like a tortoise, pull everything inward and go within in the space within, which is the still point. There we find a peace center where we feel our harmony and balance. And from there, we are now putting out vibrations of the same. So from there, we go out and bless everything. So I'm going to be asking you all to close your eyes eventually, and we will just place ourselves in a position. This is all about yogis being, the spine being in alignment is a key because the chakras come into alignment. So you would bring your head, neck, and spine into alignment. Place your feet on the floor so you stay grounded. And you can, if you like, create a mudra, index finger, tip of index finger to thumb connects. This is chin mudra, 3 fingers out, and place the back of your hand on your thigh, like so. And now you are in your upright position without straining your neck, and you're bringing your awareness inward, bringing your awareness down into your trunk, become aware of the space within. And as you breathe in, you are breathing into that inner space. As you exhale, have an open mouth, ha, just to let go the prior conversation. And then close your mouth again, breathe in, through the nose only, and breathe out. Try not to lift your chin, otherwise it'll strain your neck. And now, as you breathe in, keep your mouth closed and let the air exit the nose. Now drop your awareness into your inner body and become aware of the space there. Keep breathing with your mouth closed and nose only. And now, as you breathe in, become aware of your peace center. Now envision yourself as a pebble, and your intention is to be a peace pebble. And you're going to be that peace pebble that will be thrown into the quantum lake of humanity. You are that peace pebble. You are holding the intention for peace, love, harmony, balance. And as you stay here, imagine that you are the pebble that has fallen into a lake and you're sending out concentric circles of peace all around you. And the concentric circles keep widening and widening. They go past your home, your neighborhood, your township, your state, your country, to the whole planet and beyond. So you are the peace pebble. And you have an intention. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may all my thoughts, words, and actions contribute to this happiness and liberation. Happiness and liberation for all beings. Now I'm going to chant. You may repeat or not, it's your choice. I will repeat, chant it slowly, and I will have 3 Shanti mantras at the end. Again, you chant with me or not. Take a deep breath in, open mouth, ha, and now here we go. Loka samasta sukhino bhavatu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Sit with this for a moment. Again, envision the concentric circles of well wishes going out from your peace center to all beings everywhere. May every being everywhere be happy and free. And bring the palms together, rub the palms, place the palms over your closed eyelids. Stay there a moment. Let your eyes open in the darkness. Run the hands over your face, over your arms. Run the palms over your face and arms and your legs. Let your eyes softly open. Sit here for a moment with your eyes open. Soft gaze, aware of your own peaceful state of being. This is what we emanate towards all of mankind, towards all of creation, and we have pledged thus far. May every being everywhere be happy and free. And so it is.
So it is.
And so
Thank
it
you.
is. Thank you. Thank you, one and all of you. Thank you, Vanita, for that amazing prayer, chant, and experience, really. And we are all these instruments of positive change and these peace ripples that are touching the whole world and setting humanity and all sentient life free. In just that little snapshot, that little moment inside my inner vision, I saw all these animal beings popping up. I saw a fox. I don't know. I saw a fox and a whale, and they were all coming into your prayer and your chanting, saying, us too, happy and free, happy and free. And so I want to thank all of our listeners. I want to thank all of you. We are collectively creating in this one breath. We have been since the beginning of time, since the beginning of our divine sparks. We are one creation. And I thank everyone that joins our roundtable podcasts and all of our podcasts and messages, because we're dreaming the new dream together in this moment through our heart vision, right? Through our soul sight. That's how we see it. And I invite you to join us at wholesoulmastery.com to check out our offerings there. You can find us on YouTube at Whole Soul Mastery. These videos post on my Color the Magic YouTube channel, and they're on other platforms now, some alternative social media platforms, and I'll post all of those links in the description section below. You can find us on minds.com, rumble.com, and gab.com right now. So these are new ways that our voices and our messages are traveling to reach as many hearts on the planet as we can. And so thank you for spending your time with us and with these messages of inspiration and divine empowerment, and the presence that you have inside to tap into faith and grace and the living lighthouse that you are. And until next time, blessings, everyone.
Blessings.